Okay, good evening and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun Talina, and today we're doing Siman Kuf Sadi Gimel 193 Hilchos Berachos Hamazon or Chaim. This halacha talks about the practical ways of figuring out when you're chayav in a zima. The basic halacha, for simplicity's sake, is that if three people started a meal together or they ended a meal together, either one, you're chayav in a zima, and you can't bench by yourself. If you did, you did, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to. You have to. If one person wants to leave, he should start a zima, and the other person should be courteous enough to answer that. Technically, really only two can force one. One can't force two, but most people are nice and they'll do it anyway. But if you didn't finish together or didn't start together, both didn't finish together and didn't start together, you don't have to make a zimun. You're not chayav in a zimun. Now, what is considered to be starting together? Finishing together is very simple, meaning you decide to bench together, right? That's what zimun is. You're benching together. For whatever reason you want to bench together, even if one person finished 20 minutes ago and you're finishing now, it doesn't make a difference because now you're benching together. What about starting together, right? So in Halakha Dalit, it says, they sat down to eat and they benched brechas hamotzi. This is the halach. The source for this is brachos sham, l'perush harash, al perush. What does it mean that they started together? Now, probably what I would assume it means is that they sat down and one person, right? Like we said by bread, when you're eating a bread meal, even with one other person, and certainly with two other people, one person is motzi the other person in hamotzi, right? When it comes to other brachos, besides yayin and hamotzi, you're supposed to make your own brachos. When it comes to hamotzi, you're supposed to join together. So that's why it says, even if they're eating from their own loaf of bread, even if their own dukalach, their own challah next to them, at a wedding, one person is mostly the other two people in the bracha. And that's why they're mitzvah of yachad. So even if they finish at different times, one person wants to bench early, the other two, they're chayav in zimun because their meal is together, their bracha rishona was together. They're connected through the bracha rishona. Right? We understand very well if they bench together, right? Why they're chayav in zimun, if they end the meal together, because the fact that their zimun really we'll see is one person's saying the zimun, he's leading benching, and he emotes the other people in brechas hamazon. Technically, that's really the way it's supposed to be done. I don't do it anymore, but he's supposed to emote them. So therefore, they join together because one person's emotes the other people. So similarly, in the beginning of the meal, right, the only time you join together is one person's emotes the other people in brechas hamazon. Now, I asked my Rosh Yeshiva Yaakov Friedman technically because it happens a lot of times, in yeshiva, and you go to instead of meal for breakfast, let's say. After davening, shachas, you go to breakfast. So people come and go. Some people start here. No one comes together. Now maybe you walk with one friend, you'll start together. But usually in groups, you don't start together. It's not like girls over here that click. In yeshiva, you're learning while you're eating the meal. You're learning before the meal. You're learning after the meal. You're always learning. So you're more interested in learning than actual eating. Really, you're interested in eating more than learning. But no one likes to admit it. But so you're coming down. So. What's considered starting together? So I asked my Rabbi Yaakov Friedman. He said within 5 minutes, meaning I sit down at a meal, and I'm eating my meal for 7 minutes. And after 5 minutes into my meal, someone else comes and sits down next to me, two other people, and start eating bread, right? They made their own bracha, right? That's considered, technically he said, is considered starting together. And I personally witnessed this, which was nice to see, that he actually was machmir for his own psak halacha, because there was one time we had a Purim Suda. The Purim Suda was usually eaten in yeshiva with the Rosh Yeshiva. He led the Purim Suda, and we were starting the Purim Suda together. And the problem with the Purim Suda is that everyone gets drunk, and it's very hard to do a zimun afterwards. So he didn't want to be chayav in a zimun. So he told everyone, wash. And then he kept on telling people to wash, and he was waiting and dilly-dallying and walking all over the place, talking to people. He made sure not to wash at least 5, 6, 10 minutes after the last person was washing. Even after the last person was washing, he was talking to other people. He was trying to make it look like he was, for some other reason he wasn't washing. But I realized the reason he wasn't washing is because he didn't want to mitzvah for zimun. So he considered within 5 minutes that already you joined together. To me, it doesn't make any sense at 5 minutes. It's just like the end, right? Ending together, you're joined together in the bracha. Also in the beginning, it's only if you're joined together in the bracha. So even if you literally sat down next to each other and you started exactly the same moment, but each one took a challah roll or took a piece of bread and made his own bracha, and they weren't moti each other, that's not considered to be a chibur joining together in the beginning. That's what it would seem to me. Even if you start exactly the same time, if there's no joining together in the bracha, one's not moti the other person in the bracha, that's not called joining together in the meal. And that's what I believe the halacha should be. Of course, I got a psak that's different than that. If you want to follow a psak, not like a Rosh Hashiva, and you have no other psak based on you've never heard of psak from a rabbi, go ask a local Orthodox rabbi and see for yourself what he has to say. Hope you enjoyed tonight's shir. See you in the next one.